Thank you all for listening and watching my videos. Please subscribe and like my channel Master Coolitz. Hoping that you will not skip my ads. It's a big help for me by not skipping it. Thank you so much. Dragon Shadow. The Rise.
The arena fell silent as Kevin Strong, towering at 2 meters, stood up. Every muscle on his body seemed to contain the raw power of a lion, and his very presence stirred a commotion among the spectators. His aura was undeniable, a mix of raw power and imminent danger.
Is Kevin Strong going to do it himself? This is bad. Only a member of the Stars of 10 Palaces can handle him. I've never seen him this angry before. What did Zane do to provoke him?
Kevin Strong's voice cut through the chatter, serious and commanding. His eyes scanned the crowd, locking onto Zane Martel with a gaze that could pierce through steel.
Zane Martel, come down now. Face me like a man.
Eric Helm frowned, his worry for Zane Martel palpable. He knew Zane was strong, perhaps even stronger than himself. But against the elite stars of 10 Palaces, chosen by the Seven Nations Alliance, Zane seemed outmatched. Eric's thoughts raced as he recalled Zane's training and their countless battles together.
Zane's powerful, but Kevin Strong is on a different level. He's not just strong, he's relentless. What if Zane isn't ready for this?
Kevin Strong's steps made the ground tremble, his body crackling with yellow thunder, looking ready to explode at any moment. Every step he took was a testament to his power, each footfall echoing through the arena like a prelude to the storm.
What's your name? State it clearly so everyone knows who you are before I crush you.
Zane Martel from the Five Spirits sect.
As Kevin Strong finished speaking, a wave of pressure shot out from his body, covering the entire arena. He stood like a lightning god descended upon the earth, making everyone shiver inwardly. Even Zane's heart skipped a beat, but he remained composed, his eyes focused on his opponent.
So strong. But I've faced challenges before. This won't be any different.
But Kevin Strong did not attack immediately. He believed it wasn't worth his effort to kill Zane outright. Not yet.
I'll give you a chance. Hand over the storage ring and destroy your 2 arms and I will let you go. You should be grateful I'm offering mercy.
The crowd murmured again, relieved for Zane. Some even began to hope he might take the offer to avoid a brutal fight.
At least breaking his arms ensures Zane's livelihood. He could recover. He's brave, but he should be smart too. Live to fight another day.
The disciples of the Five Spirits sect knew that although breaking an arm consumed a lot of vital energy and time, there were spiritual pills and miraculous medicines that could regenerate broken arms. It was far better than losing one's life. They exchanged worried glances, wondering what Zane would choose.
Break my arm? Yours, you mean? Because I won't do it. You think you can intimidate me? Think again.
Kevin Strong's frown deepened. His patience ran thin, and the sparks of his anger began to show.
In that case, you can die with my 2 junior brothers. You've sealed your fate, Martel.
A bolt of horrible yellow lightning burst from Kevin Strong, turning his whole body into a flash of light. With a deafening thunder, he rushed toward Zane, his yellow lightning crackling violently. Zane's eyes narrowed, recognizing the power of thunder and the immediate danger it posed.
The power of thunder. Fast and deadly. I have to stay sharp and use everything I've got.
Kevin Strong's strike was lethal, capable of tearing anyone below the ring to pieces. His movements were precise and filled with deadly intent, each swing of his thunderous energy promising a swift and brutal end. The ground beneath them trembled with the force of his attack, sending shockwaves through the arena. But almost simultaneously, Zane performed the Wind Serpent Step, integrating the power of wind, turning into an unpredictable ghost shadow. He moved with a fluid grace that seemed almost ethereal, his form blending seamlessly with the wind. The crowd watched in awe as white and yellow shadows chased each other, wind and thunder intertwining. Every movement was a dance of elemental forces, the sheer spectacle leaving the audience breathless and wide-eyed.
The power of wind. Zane has actually comprehended the power of wind. How did he achieve such a feat? It's beyond belief.
Only geniuses could comprehend the power of nature at the intermediate level. This was no ordinary achievement. It required not just skill, but a deep connection with the elements. Eric knew Kevin Strong's understanding of the power of thunder wasn't surprising given his elite status. but Zane's power of wind was astounding. The arena buzzed with excitement and fear. Spectators whispered among themselves, their voices filled with a mix of admiration and dread. The realization that they were witnessing a battle between two elemental masters dawned on them, heightening the already electric atmosphere. The two combatants moved so fast that spectators could only see flashing shadows. It was a blur of motion, the clash of wind and thunder creating a mesmerizing and terrifying display. Kevin Strong's frustration grew as he struggled to land a decisive blow. His attacks, once precise and overwhelming, now seemed to fall short against Zane's agility and the unpredictability of the wind.
What? You've comprehended the power of nature. No wonder you killed Adam Wright and Ryan Taylor. But my power of thunder is no slower and far more powerful. You won't escape me. You think you can outmatch me with just the power of wind? Foolish.
Yellow thunder and lightning burst from Kevin Strong, condensing into a whip that cracked through the air with shocking power. The sound was deafening, and the light blinding, as if a storm had descended into the arena. Zane immediately changed direction, unleashing rays of sword energy, his movements fluid and precise. His focus was unwavering, his every move calculated to counter Kevin's aggressive strikes. Thunder and lightning went off track, blowing up the ground. Flames burst out, creating a chaotic scene of destruction around them. But a portion of the power of thunder still struck Zane. He felt a sharp pain, smelling burning flesh, but he gritted his teeth and pressed on. The searing pain only fueled his determination. His eyes locked on Kevin, his mind focused on survival and victory.
Haha. You're just so-so. How are you going to escape this time? Feel the power of true thunder. You'll regret ever challenging me.
Kevin Strong swung his whip, tying Zane up. His other hand grabbed Zane as a glaring lightning blade appeared, the energy crackling menacingly. The blade hummed with power, ready to deliver a fatal strike.
Dream on if you think you can resist my power of thunder. I've only used 50% of my strength. Zane, you've disappointed me. Go to hell. Your defiance ends now.
Another bolt of lightning struck Zane. The impact was brutal, sending shocks of pain through his body. Eric Helm, below the arena, was extremely anxious, knowing he was no match for Kevin Strong, but desperate to help Zane. His heart pounded as he watched, feeling helpless. Every second felt like an eternity, the tension nearly unbearable. At that moment, the yellow lightning merged with the Sky Thunder tree in Zane's energy center. The leaves swayed, and a strange suction force erupted, absorbing all the lightning. The leaves grew bigger, absorbing the power of thunder. It was as if the tree within him had come to life, drawing in the destructive energy and transforming it. Kevin Strong's shock turned to anger as he felt his power of thunder weakening, his confidence shaken.
Zane, what have you done? My power of thunder. Are you stealing it? This is impossible.
The crowd held their breath, the suspense thick in the air. What was happening to Zane? How was he absorbing Kevin Strong's power? The air crackled with tension as Kevin Kevin's hands. He gritted his teeth, the veins in his neck bulging with the effort. His muscles tensed as he channeled his remaining power into the sabers. With a furious roar, he unleashed a barrage of slashes aimed at Zane's head. The air vibrated with the intensity of his attacks. Thunder boomed and lightning crashed, echoing through the sky like a raging storm. But Zane remained unscathed, reveling in the electric onslaught. Each slash only seemed to invigorate him more, his form glowing brighter with each bolt. Zane stood tall amidst the barrage, his expression one of serene confidence. The energy around him crashed. Gnashing their teeth in frustration. Kevin Strong, their strongest disciple, was struggling against Zane, a humiliation no one anticipated. The air was thick with their disbelief and anger, their whispered curses barely audible over the roaring thunder. The energy of the arena seemed to pulse with their collective fury, the tension rising with each passing moment. The atmosphere was charged with an almost tangible electricity, mirroring the intensity of the battle. Kevin's attacks grew more desperate. He had lost nearly half his thunder power and stopped, teeth gritted in frustration. His breath came in ragged gasps, and sweat poured down his face, stinging his eyes. His muscles ached from the effort, but he refused to give up. The strain of his relentless assault was taking its toll, but Kevin's determination burned brighter than ever.
Zane, I will kill you. Beast-fusing palm.
A dazzling light emanated from Kevin's hands, conjuring a massive lion demon. The beast lunged at Zane, its gaping maw ready to devour him. The crowd gasped, expecting Zane to finally falter. The ground shook under the lion's massive weight, its roar echoing through the arena. Its eyes blazed with an unnatural light, reflecting Kevin's desperation and fury.
Don't take away the thunder yet. I haven't had enough. Your power is just what I need.
Zane's fingers moved with precision and grace, as if conducting an invisible orchestra. Green sword energy sliced through the lion demon, its form disintegrating into sparks. The beast's roar faded into the night, leaving only the crackling energy in its wake. Zane's expression remained untroubled, his eyes focused intently on Kevin.
Glacial Rift Palm!
A cold wind swept the arena as Kevin struck. Frost spread across the ground, making the air icy. The temperature dropped sharply, and the breath of the onlookers became visible. The sudden chill caused many to shiver, their clothing inadequate against the unexpected cold. The icy wind bit into their skin, a stark contrast to the heat of the earlier battle. Zane responded with a fiery explosion of the Vajra Buddha hand. The blast tore through the arena, flinging debris and sending weaker disciples sprawling. The shockwave was immense, knocking over anyone too close, and the sound was deafening, reverberating off the walls. The force of the explosion created a whirlwind of ice and fire, the elements clashing violently in midair. The ground alternated between patches of scorched earth and frost-covered terrain. The energy from their attacks surged through the arena, causing the very air to shimmer with power. Amidst the chaos, Zane and Kevin stood locked in a stalemate, their strength seemingly matched. The arena was a whirlwind of elemental forces, the ground scorched and frozen in turns. Zane laughed, taunting his opponent.
So this is the famed strength of the Stars of 10 Palaces? It's nothing special. Is this all you've got, Kevin? I expected more from you.
Kevin's face twisted with rage. Despite their equal footing and raw power, Zane's ability to steal his thunder left him fuming. His eyes burned with a mixture of frustration and determination, the veins in his forehead bulging as he clenched his fists tighter. The sense of helplessness gnawed at him, fueling his anger. He felt like a cornered beast, desperate and dangerous.
Fight me without stealing my thunder, Zane. Prove your strength honestly. If you dare, show me what you can really do.
Kevin's voice was raw with desperation, his eyes pleading for a fair fight. The crowd held their breath, waiting for Zane's response.
You think everyone fights fair, Kevin? I'll stop stealing if you believe me. But let's be honest, would you? Fair fights are for fools.
Zane's words cut deep, the truth of them stinging Kevin more than any physical blow. The crowd outside the shabby gate had grown, filled with disciples from various sects, all eager to witness Kevin's humiliation. The buzz of their conversations filled the air, a chorus of disbelief and excitement. The atmosphere was electric, charged with the collective energy of those witnessing the epic battle. The spectators' eyes were glued to the combatants, their anticipation palpable.
Mr. Kevin, do we continue? We can't afford to lose more face. This is becoming a disaster.
Kevin's eyes narrowed as he considered his options. He knew continuing this fight would only further humiliate him if he couldn't reclaim his thunder power. His mind raced, weighing the potential losses against the slim chance of turning the tide. He could feel the weight of his sect's expectations pressing down on him, the judgment of his peers a constant reminder of his precarious position.
Remember this, Zane. Pray we don't meet again. Next time it won't end like this.
Kevin turned and left, seething with rage. His retreat was a tacit admission of Zane's victory. The Five Spirits sect disciples erupted in cheers, their faces beaming with pride. They had witnessed a monumental event, and their spirits soared. The sound of their jubilant cries echoed across the battlefield, a testament to Zane's triumph.
Good job, Zane. You're famous now. The whole
After the farce was over, Zane Martel and Eric Helm returned to their residence. Zane immediately checked his energy center. He found that the storm tree in his energy center had absorbed Kevin Strong's power of thunder and grown. Shiny gold patterns glistened on one of the silver leaves. Zane leaned closer, inspecting the vibrant patterns and the energy radiating from the tree.
I wonder why, but the storm tree seems bigger now. Maybe there will be some surprises when it's fully grown.
With that hopeful thought, Zane began to cultivate in the room, occasionally discussing martial arts experiences with Eric. They would often sit late into the night, comparing techniques and sharing insights on their progress. Eric would often challenge Zane to sparring matches, each bout pushing them to new heights. The carefree days after the war breakout lasted for half a month. One day, a knock on the door interrupted Zane's routine. He opened it to find Patrick standing there, a wide smile on his face.
Brother-in-law, I'm here to see you.
Though Zane and Alora weren't married, Patrick still called him brother-in-law. After entering the room, Zane asked immediately, his tone shifting from surprise to concern.
Patrick, do you have news about your sister?
Ever since Madame Tina kidnapped Alora, Zane had been tirelessly searching for information about her. He had combed through ancient texts and spoken to numerous informants, but the mysterious Madame Tina always seemed one step ahead. Titan Academy yielded little. Madame Tina's tracks were expertly hidden. Each lead turned into a dead end, leaving Zane increasingly frustrated yet determined. He spent countless nights poring over old scrolls, hoping to find a clue that would lead him to Alora. The challenge was daunting, but Zane's resolve never wavered. He knew he had to find her, no matter the cost.
No, my sister has never appeared since then, and I can't enter Titan Academy. I asked my father and the sect head, but they seem scared of Madame Tina. They never say anything about her disappearance.
Zane nodded, feeling a pang of disappointment despite expecting this answer. They chatted for a while longer, their conversation shifting to lighter topics. Patrick's face brightened as he recounted tales of their master Xavier and his latest accomplishments. Xavier's wisdom and guidance had always been a source of strength for them. Learning that Xavier was safe and sound, Zane felt a bit more at ease. The familiar warmth of camaraderie settled in the room, and for a moment, the weight of their worries lifted.
By the way, brother-in-law, I have other things to talk to you about this time.
Other things? What's the matter?
Patrick took out a red invitation card and handed it to Zane.
This is for you.
Zane's eyes lit up with curiosity. A strange smile appeared on his face as he spoke, a hint of teasing in his tone.
Patrick, are you getting married? Didn't expect you to be so ambitious. Tell me, who's the lucky girl?
Patrick blushed and quickly denied it. He shook his head vigorously, his cheeks reddening further.
Brother-in-law, what are you talking about? I'm still young. This is not a wedding invitation. It's from Caleb Pierce.
Caleb Pierce?
Zane opened the invitation with a suspicious expression. He was invited to dinner at the Cloud-Reaching Tower that night. He scanned the elegant script, noting the formal language and the seal of the Stars of 10 Palaces. Cloud-Reaching Tower was the tallest building in Lotus City, said to be hundreds of meters high, offering views of the entire city and the battle on the Eastern Prairie. Entry required recognition by the Seven Nations Alliance or an invitation, but Zane didn't know Caleb Pierce, which made him wary.
I'm not going.
Patrick was surprised and frowned, his brows knitting together in confusion.
Why, brother-in-law? It's Caleb Pierce. Those who build ties with him are all at Stars of 10 Palaces. This is a great opportunity.
Zane believed in becoming stronger on his own, rather than relying on powerful connections. He had always trusted his own abilities and the rigorous training he underwent.
I have nothing to say to these people. They invited me, but I'm not obliged to accept.
Zane picked up his cup and took a sip of tea. Patrick's eyes flickered with hesitation, his lips pressing into a thin line.
Has Caleb Pierce done something to you?
Patrick stammered, clearly uncomfortable. He avoided Zane's piercing gaze, his fingers fidgeting nervously.
Tell me, if someone bullies you, I'll stand up for you.
No, just think of it as my invitation. I'll be there too.
Zane, sensing Patrick's reluctance to share, decided to go. He knew there was more to the story, but he didn't press further. As night fell, he headed to the Cloud-Reaching Tower. The outer walls were adorned with red lanterns and music played softly, creating an ambience of grandeur and mystery. Patrick awaited at the entrance, his figure silhouetted against the glowing lanterns.
Brother-in-law, over here, I thought you wouldn't come.
I didn't want to, but since you asked, how could I refuse? Am I not a qualified brother-in-law?
Two practitioners guarding the door stopped them, their stances rigid and authoritative.
Leave! This is where the Stars of 10 Palaces gather. What are you doing here? Hurry up and leave, or we will take action.
Zane wasn't angered. He took out the invitation card, holding it up for the guards to see.
We were invited by Caleb Pierce.
The guard's eyes widened upon reading it. His demeanor shifted from suspicion to deference.
Young Master Zane Martell and Patrick, forgive my rudeness. Please come in.
Inside, the luxurious interior belied the ongoing war. The floors were polished to a shine, reflecting the soft glow of ornate chandeliers that hung from the high ceilings. Elaborate tapestries and paintings adorned the walls, depicting grand scenes of historic battles and majestic landscapes. The air was filled with the rich aroma of incense, mingling with the scent of exotic foods that wafted through the space. A grand spiral staircase covered in red cloth dominated the center of the room, winding upwards in an elegant sweep. Red lanterns hung at regular intervals along the staircase, casting a warm, festive glow. As Zane and Patrick ascended, the murmurs of conversation and soft strains of music grew louder, creating an atmosphere of refined celebration. Upon reaching the top floor, they were greeted by a spacious hall, its high walls draped with luxurious silks and adorned with more red lanterns. Several tables were set up in the middle of the room, each laden with an array of delicacies. The scent of roasted meats, fresh fruits, and spiced wines filled the air, making Zane's mouth water. Seated around the tables were distinguished guests, each exuding an aura of power and prestige. The room was filled with notable figures from various sects, their expressions a mix of curiosity and subtle scrutiny. Zane's eyes quickly scanned the room, noting the presence of several high-ranking members of the Stars of 10 Palaces. Each guest wore garments of fine silk and embroidered insignias that signified their status and achievements. The low hum of conversations created a backdrop of intrigue and tension. Among them, he recognized Kevin Strong, whose expression turned ugly upon seeing him. Kevin's eyes narrowed in disdain, his lips curling into a sneer. He radiated an aura of hostility, making it clear he was not pleased with Zane's presence. As Kevin's gaze locked onto Zane, he slammed his hand on the table, causing the dishes and goblets to rattle.
Who let this good-for-nothing in? Does he also have the right to participate in the gathering of the stars of 10 palaces?
The tension in the air was palpable, leaving Zane to wonder what awaited him next. He could feel the eyes of the others on him, judging, assessing, making his skin prickle with unease. The grandeur of the room seemed to close in, the anticipation almost suffocating.